to Rich Talk, where we keep the conversation going.
Rich Talk, Episode 2. Don't be the first generation to quit.
Do you feel like we're headed in the right direction, that we're doing the right things that we need to be doing? Or can we be headed in a better direction? And if so, what do we need to be doing better?
Well, it's education, education, education. That's the direction you all need to head in. Some of you are, but a lot of you aren't. And so in order to make this a better world and to better yourselves, you need to be about education. That needs to be at the forefront. That's the focus. That's the mission statement. Education, education, education. Because with education, all things are possible. Okay?
Got it.
And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to college.
No.
You can learn a trade. You can go get a job without going to college and learn that job and move up in that company by learning some of the things that job teaches. So it's just working, trying to make yourself better instead of quitting. Quitting, when you quit, it's over. And when you give up, it's over. So you just got to keep striving and make yourself better. Just keep working at it instead of just saying, okay, I ain't getting up today.
So how do you feel about this Maya Angelou quote? I come as one, but stand as 10,000.
Well, that says it all. I'm standing for my people. 10,000 strong, 1 million strong. I'm standing for my people.
Yeah. And do you feel like we should have an accountability of doing that as Black people? Or are we tied to that as Black people? Is that who we are?
Black people should fight. We have to fight. And I'm not talking about going out and getting a gun and shooting people. But you have to fight, and you got to know how to fight. You can't go out and say, okay, you owe me a job. They don't owe you nothing. What they do, what's owed to you is an opportunity to learn. And when you get that opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. Instead of going into the factory and working on a machine, like I said earlier, go to college and be the person who builds the machine, be the person who runs the machine, be the person who pays you to run the machine. Be that person. Learning just not to survive off of what somebody's giving you, but to be the person that's doing the giving. You know what I'm saying?
So are you hopeful? Are you hopeful?
I am. And you're talking about for the millennials and on. I am. In recent months, I've seen how they've stepped up. They've stepped up in a mighty way with all of this racial unrest and everything. They marched and marched and marched. Now, they weren't always careful about protecting themselves, but that's a young people thing, They always think they're like invincible. They think so. They think so. But it was like they all came together. Now, not just the young people, but I think they got everything going.
A lot of people came together.
And it's a good thing. I have no doubt that come fall, they're going to be November, they're going to be right there at the polls. Now, they'll be the ones at the polls standing in line, and it's a wonderful thing. Because they need to know what's going on and why it's important that you vote. Many, many, many thousands of folks have died just so we could have the right to vote. And sometimes when you're young, you don't really realize that, and you think, I'm not into that. But you have to listen, you have to read, you have to make yourself aware of what's going on, and then do the right thing. Take your hips to the poll, talk to your friends, make sure everybody's on the same page, and it will be a better place, a better world.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of young people don't understand what it took for us to vote. They don't understand what segregation is all about, and how unequally we are being treated today, and how bad it was at one time. That's the reason we're here today in Michigan, is because things were so bad in the South. You know, you couldn't drink out of the same water fountain, and you got treated pretty bad down there. You definitely was not going to get a good job down there. All the good jobs and all the good anything was for other people and not you. So my father and mother moved up here to make life easier.
So we moved from the South north, thinking that the North was going to be better. Well, there were the factories, but Jim Crow was still here. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a whole lot, and still is a whole lot of racist things going on here. When you think about the governor up there and how all those Confederate folks
got to sit on the steps of the place with their guns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's still alive and well, but we're working through it. And right. That's why it's important that young people step up to the plate. And if you don't know our history, then it's time to take some Black history classes so that you understand where we were, to help us get to where we need to be. You need to be in a position to step up, not step back and wait for somebody else to do it. You've got to be, everybody's got to be accountable for themselves and their brother. You know, you got to be accountable, and you got to be ready to take the torch and take us forward. I don't expect that everything's going to happen in your generation, but you all have got to be strong, and you've got to pass that on to your kids. And they've got to pass it on to their kids, because that's the only way we get better. We do better.
Thank you for listening to Rich Talk. Make sure you subscribe to our website at richmagdigital.com and follow us on all platforms.